So, John, a 0-0 result, how do you feel?
Pleased. I think that goes down as a good point. I think Bath are a very good side. I expect them to be in the playoffs at the end of the season, without doubt. They're on a great run of form. So, although we're at home, you take a point against teams like that, and I thought we put in a decent shift tonight.
So, a different look to the starting 11. What were the reasons behind that?
Yeah, a couple of changes forced on us from Saturday. Floodie's just started a new job. He's been in Manchester today. He had planning on being here, but he got held up. It was just out of his hands. He wanted to be here. He just couldn't get back in time, so we were without Floodie. Niz has got an infected toe, and although he sat on the bench, he wasn't quite right. He came off with it Saturday, and it wasn't right to play him tonight. So those two missed out. And Scotty and Sawsey came back in. I thought they both had good games. Sawsey's not had a lot of football. I thought Sawsey took his chance and played really well tonight. And
Dobbo not involved again. Rumours are rife that he's not going to be much longer at the club.
Yeah, it's been talked about. I think we've been quite open the fact that he's been looking to try and get a move to a higher level, which we fully support. We don't want to hold players back.
Can you go into some of the details?
Well, we've accepted an offer from a club in the league above. Until it's finalised, I can't really say any more than that, but we've had an offer that we've accepted that's right for the club, it's right for Dobbo. His contract will be up at the end of the season anyway, and we know at that point he would be moving on because he's got that ambition to play higher, and as I said, we support that. Obviously we don't want to lose Dobbo, but with a player with that ambition you can't really hold him back. It's a good move for him. I say it'll be announced I think on Thursday, but it's not right for us to say who that is yet. But he'll be stepping up a level, and he's had a great couple of seasons here, in particular last 2 seasons, and I think he's caught the eye with some of his goals and his performances, and he deserves that opportunity, so we wish him well.
And was there a temptation to put him back in the starting 11, or at least bring him on, you know, with his quality?
It was, but in our minds that deal's done, and we could have brought him on, but we felt that everybody knew their jobs tonight. The game was very tight. Sometimes you change something and you might just miss a runner or something just because people aren't, a player coming on might not be aware of his job. So we don't often like to settle for a point. We just felt tonight that the game was so tight. Both teams had a few chances second half to nick it. It looked like it might just go 1-0 either way. I think both teams will look upon it as a decent point.
Was it fair?
I think so.
Competitive game out there, lots of challenges.
Yeah, competitive, but very fair. I thought two sides that I don't think there was a bad tackle in the game.
Lots of bookings though.
Yeah, I think both sides clearly frustrated with the performance of the referee. I think the foul count at half time was 25 fouls, and there must have been the same second half. And of course there were some fouls in the game, but we just felt that I don't know. I'm not sure what a booking.
Fussy?
Yeah, I'm not sure what a booking is anymore. It seems like just a standard everyday foul became a yellow, and I think that just frustrated both sides. Certainly both benches.
Did it take the rhythm out of the game a little bit?
It did. The game didn't flow. In spells it did. I thought the game started very, very well. I thought we started great. Started on the front foot. I thought the front three of ours, Warren, Sawsey, Ben, were very lively early on, and then they got a good spell towards the end of the half, and they looked a threat. And then I thought the second half kind of ebbed and flowed. It wasn't a classic, but it was two good sides who, they changed their shape during the first half because I think we were on top early on. They changed from a 3 to a 4 at the back, and that probably worked quite well for them in terms of stopping us. Yeah, as I said, very little in it. It was going to come down to maybe a mistake or a bit of magic, and that just didn't quite happen for either side.
So after 2 defeats, a draw, a good result for the boys? Yeah,
obviously we're trying to get that first win of the year. But we've got to remember where we've come from and where we are and the sort of teams we're playing against. We had 3 great wins over Christmas. Obviously Wilston was disappointing here. Torquay is the toughest game in the league, Torquay away. So, that was a tough game, and tonight, and then we get Chelmsford Saturday. So it's an unforgiving league, it's a tough league, and we're sort of in that mid-table at the minute. Of course we want to push on, but there's a lot of good sides around us also trying to push on. Feels like you get a few wins like we did at Christmas and everyone gets excited, and we get excited, and you think maybe the playoffs are back on, and then you lose a couple and you think we're not going to do it. And I think it's going to be one of those sorts of seasons, because it's very hard to get a consistent run unless you're one of the real big established sides in this league, and we're not there yet. We're trying to get there, and we're trying to improve, and I think we've had having a good stab at it, but at the moment we just don't seem to quite be able to break into that kind of top 7 or 8. But we're pleased.
And was there any hangover from Torquay, either the journey, the legs, obviously playing a half with only 10 men?
I don't think so. I don't think it looked like that. I thought people put a good shift in. Obviously, had a couple of new faces in from Saturday, but a lot of them who worked very hard Saturday worked very hard again tonight. So, no, fitness levels are good.
And you gave Ben a start again.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't a difficult decision for us. He's had a lot of publicity, I guess, social media,
a
lot of attention. Everyone's got their view on what happened Saturday. It's gone now.
What's the latest with that?
If anyone watched Ben's performance tonight, they should be proud to have him in a Slough shirt. He absolutely ran his socks off. He won lots of headers, won us free kicks, got us up the pitch. Maybe could have nicked a goal, maybe a couple of half chances. He had a header from a corner, but he was in his own box, heading things clear. I think as fans, you look for a player who's going to work his socks off for the shirt and for the club, and Ben did that fantastically well tonight.
And will his suspension kick in Saturday?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it looks like it's going to kick in. They've said a couple of games, which should be Saturday, and then the Berks and Bucks Cup. But I think we're just waiting for confirmation on that. So he will be suspended. And
in terms of other squad news, obviously you've talked about Dobbo's departure. Obviously a few different faces in the 11 today, and obviously Dijon still in from Oxford.
Yep.
What's your overall feel for the squad at the moment? Are you looking? What activity are you doing?
We are looking. We're probably one or two. Clearly one or two light maybe now with Dobbo moving on. So a couple of things we're looking at. Nothing I can kind of say at the minute. But yeah, we know. While we haven't got many injuries, we're okay, but we know we need a little bit more depth. So it's not an easy time to bring players in, players that are under contract elsewhere. You don't just go out and pick who you want. It's not easy at this stage of the season, but we've got our eye on one or two things, and me and Bakes work hard to try and make us as competitive as we can. So we are still, working on that, definitely.
And how important is it to bounce back against Chelmsford again and pick up some points? Ideally, that victory.
Well, it is. You look at this week, it'll be 3 teams in the top 4. So like I said, we've got to remember where we've come from. We've got to remember we're trying to establish ourselves at this level. So there's no guarantee that we can turn up and get a win. I think we need to come and give the effort, the determination that we gave tonight. Hopefully we can turn it into a win. If it's another point, it's another point. We've got to just keep. We look more solid here tonight. I think we obviously had a slightly different shape. We had an extra one in midfield. I think we looked a little bit more compact as a side today. But we know Chelmsford's a tough test, just as tonight was. The 2 games were as tough as each other. So we'll see. Of course, we'll come here and try and win it, and a point won't be a terrible result.
And in terms of the weekend, any injury news or availability issues?
I think obviously Floody will be back available. Obviously he'll come into the squad and replace Ben, who's unavailable. We'll see if there's anything we can do in terms of adding one before the weekend, but I think everybody else should be okay.
Okay. Thanks for your time, John.
No problem.
Cheers.
Cheers.